Social media is beaming these days about who would win in a hypothetical fight to the death between 100 men and one gorilla. But have you ever wondered who would win when 450 prophets of false gods go up against one prophet of Jehovah God? This story takes us to ancient times, in a time when Ahab, the son of Omri, became king of Israel. Ahab did more evil in the eyes of the Lord than any other king before him. He not only worshipped idols, but also married Jezebel, the daughter of Ethbaal, who was king of the Sidonians. Through her influence, Ahab began to serve and worship the false god Baal, even setting up idols for Baal in holy places. It was at this time that God sent the prophet Elijah to prophesy that as punishment for their sins, there would be no rain in Israel for years, until he asked the rains to come. Immediately, Israel would begin to experience a terrible drought. Both Ahab and Jezebel sought to kill Elijah, causing him to flee to a place where God would send ravens to bring him food every day. When the time was right, the Lord sent Elijah back to the king of Israel. Things were much worse in Israel by now, as Jezebel had been killing the prophets of God indiscriminately. By this time, the drought had gone on for long and there was great famine in the lands. When Elijah finally came face to face with the king, he challenged him to bring forth all the prophets of Baal so they could test whose God was more powerful. The king accepted the challenge and gathered all 450 prophets of Baal to meet Elijah on Mount Carmel. He also summoned all the people of Israel to witness this matchup as Elijah requested. Elijah addressed the crowd, telling them that it was time for them to choose between Jehovah God or Baal, saying, "If the Lord is God, follow him. But if Baal is God, follow him." 2 bulls were then brought up, with one given to Elijah and the other given to Baal's prophets. Both sides cut the bulls into pieces and placed them on dried wood, but neither side set fire to the wood. Elijah then asked the prophets of Baal to call on their God to set their wood on fire, while he did the same thing with the Lord. Whoever's God answered their prayer is the only true God worthy of worship. From morning till evening, the prophets of Baal prayed and called on their God, raising their voices so they could be heard. Elijah mocked them, asking them to shout louder if they really want their God to answer. They began to slash themselves with swords and spears, as was their tradition, until their blood flowed, and yet no fire came. When this had gone on long enough, Elijah took 12 stones, representing the 12 tribes of Israel, and built an altar for the Lord with them. He arranged the wood on the altar and put the pieces of the bull on them. To make things even harder for himself, he had large jars of water poured on the offering and on the wood, ensuring that they could not catch fire mistakenly. Elijah then stepped forward and prayed to the Lord. Instantly, fire fell down from the heavens and burned up the sacrifice, the wood, the stones, the soil, and even the water that now drenched the ground. When the Israelites saw this, they fell down on their knees and cried, "The Lord, He is God! The Lord, He is God!" Elijah then had all 450 prophets of Baal rounded up and slaughtered them all in front of the people. He then announced the end of the drought, and soon after, the sky grew black with clouds, the wind rose, and a heavy rain started falling for the first time in years. When the king told Jezebel all that he had seen Elijah do, the resentful queen sought to have the prophet killed, causing Elijah to flee into the wilderness once again. But this is not the end of Elijah's story. Neither is this the last time we will hear from the king and Jezebel. Be sure to subscribe to our channel for more tales from the Bible coming soon.